Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for the OPTC video, and in today's video, we're diving into treasure map for the worldwide anniversary against SHAWK for the super evolution of the PK Coby. And in today's video, I have the buildable teams for you guys to help you guys take down this particular event. That's not going to include stuff like the Blackbeard batch, not going to include stuff like the Cross Skill batch. We're not even going to include stuff like the Lilith and the Bonnie batch. We're basically just going to go all the way back to the New Year's celebration. Basically the last time that I said that you guys should be summoning. Look, if you guys have summoned on Blackbeard, if you guys have summoned on Cross Guild, I'm not holding that against you either. There's a lot of very good anniversary exclusives on the banner, but in today's video, we're prioritizing not those characters. However, I will have my own teams out with the units if you guys want to check out that a little bit later, so make sure to hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on any of the fun. And if you're new to the channel, hit the big red subscribe button and hit the like button if this video helps you out. And if it doesn't help you out, hit the like button anyway, because I appreciate the hell out of you. But I believe the points go up to 15 million this particular time because it's kind of like a special treasure map. A lot of people are probably looking at 15 million dip, but look, there is a lot of fun to be had with treasure map as it's an anniversary kind of time. Cross Guild and Mr. 3 and the Buggy Pirates are your big time boosters. Both of them are 1.6 for the rare recruits, a 2.5, whopping 2.5 for the Cross Guild. So ideally you want to bring them as a friend captain for your SHAWK and your Coby fight. Coby's a 1.4 times booster. He's going to give you some more CCAT cards, as well as the 5+ gym base. Hopefully you guys maxed him out. You do want to try and evolve Coby as quickly, well, not as quickly as possible, because this here is the 5+, where the 5-star is actually going to give you the extra CCAT card. So ideally you just want to keep Coby unevolved until the final state, like until you're done with the event. However, I always recommend keeping 2 copies of these units, so that way you can actually use them as double point boosters once you get the skulls and whatever. Plus, as you can see down here, Jimbei's a 1.35 and he's a 1.4 times booster depending on if you have the 5-star and the 5+, which I do include in today's video, so make sure you guys are actually doing that. So the rest of the boosters, you can use the database and the treasure map planner for a little bit easier time when it comes to team building, but in game it is pretty nice as well. So let's start off with the Helmepo fight. Helmepo's recommended character is 6+ lore, but I understand a lot of people probably don't have 6+ lore unless you're a long-time player or you went crazy on his banner for whatever reason. On final stage, everyone gets the good stuff, but everyone on the final stage, you get a 50% HP card, 3 turns of paralysis, full bottle block orbs, 99% attack down for 3 turns, full immunity, and on defeat, there's a 50,000 damage hit. Now, the reason they want you to use lore, now I've put him on the team here, but like if you don't have him, literally just replace it with anyone. The reason they want you to use lore is because with his super type, you have any of the following characters, being the Supernovas and Corozone. He removes 3 turns of paralysis, 3 turns of attack down, rotates block orbs, and heals. Like, he pretty much does everything that you need in a unit to take care of this particular stage. If you're going to find a friend captain for him, bring him as a friend captain. But another way to get around it is to use this kid. This kid actually removes paralysis, and he has the ability to give you a threshold, so that way you don't have to worry about the death hit. Plus, with Kid, you can actually activate his super type when the character has a bomb or a super bomb. His special actually gives a bomb or a super bomb, so if you run 2 of them, you can use him as a wave clearer with his special and his super type, so then that way you can just get around all those nasty shenanigans that way. We have the support of Luffy for an attack down, and then I have the Frankie support on Zoro Sanji. Zoro Sanji are pretty much a anniversary exclusive character, or New Year's character I should say, sorry, that everyone pretty much went for, so I don't feel bad about putting them on the team. They're very, very good, and they can use something like the Tashigi support or the Frankie support for 2 turns of attack down. Hell, you have 2 other spots here. I just put a Kaino, I just put Koala, because like they're 1.25 boosters. They could also be replaced with other attack down removers, but the attack down removing characters for this treasure map, they're pretty scarce. Moving on to the Sandersonia and Marigold fight now. They really, really want you to use Rayleigh. Rayleigh basically covers everything. Cerebrals, fighters, and slashers get all the good stuff. There's 5 turns of attack down, 5 turns of paralysis, full water block orbs. You can only use 2 specials, which, hello Rayleigh. Full immunity, damage null, and normal attacks only. So, as you can see, like, Rayleigh's pretty much made for this particular fight, but Rayleigh's a big 1.35 booster, and because we are team building with buildable teams, kind of want to bring him on the final stage. So, I actually just went with Gear 5 Luffy. Gear 5 Luffy is like a character everyone wants. Pretty much a character everyone has. And if you activate his EX, he kind of does what Rayleigh does, but just a little bit better. Activating his EX is going to allow you to ignore those defensive effects. You don't have to worry about the damage null. All you have to take care of is the paralysis and the block orbs and the attack down. Now, this Robin is great because she can actually take care of the attack down and the block orbs. She gives you a conditional that you're not really going to get a hold of. However, she can use the Bardo support, and then with the Rayleigh support on Luffy, you're basically covered for all the debuffs in the game. Brookie is a wave clearer. It works quite nicely. You can use Sanji on the turn before because he's a 4-turn orb booster, which works really, really nice because that way you can carry it into the final stage, and then you can just use Jinbei for color affinity. There's no attack boost on this team, but like, look, it doesn't really matter. If you really want, you can just chuck on like Rodin, or you could chuck on like a Psy boosting attack. Replace Jinbei if you want with a different character that can be an attack booster. You can use something like Jewelry Bonnie, the treasure map legend. You guys have a lot of options. I just included Jinbei because look, he's a straw hat and he is free to play. Next, we've got the Rayleigh fight. The recommended characters for Rayleigh are the 5+ Jinbei and Treasure Map Luffy, Onigashima Luffy. Strength, quick, and in character to get all the good stuff. And on the final stage, there's 5 turns of special bind, normal attacks only, 8 turns of attack down, 3 turns of ship bind, full immunity, and a 5-turn defensive buff. So the reason they want you to use the 5+ Jinbei is because Jinbei has ship bind with his limit break ability. But look, it's only his second one, so you can actually use the 5-star. Both the 5-star and the 5+ remove 5 turns of defense up and 5 turns of attack down. So this is a really, really good example of why you want to keep 2 copies of these PK units for when these boosted events come around. Jinbei is going to be great. He's going to take care of the defense up. He's going to take care of the attack down. Plus, then if you partner him with this Luffy, he's going to take care of the special bind and the rest of the attack down. So the two of them work exceptionally well. I've included Shanks as a captain just because, like, I love Shanks. And he works really nicely. And then Flampe is just more points. Caesar here, he's a wave clearer. You could probably replace Flambe and Caesar with like point boosted wave clearers if you really want to. But this guy, he just basically covers it for you. So pretty straightforward team, no crazy supports, a lot of free to play characters. Let's move on to the fight against Boa. Now against Boa, obviously they want you to use Blackbeard. It's the whole Boa Blackbeard back and forth, and they want you to use Jesus Burgess as well, which is super annoying because like they just want you to do a lot on this fight. Blackbeard, Burgess, Katarina Devon, Strikers, Driven, and Powerhouse characters get all the good stuff. On the final stage, there's 6 turns of normal attack down, normal attacks only, 5 turns of special bind, you get a full board unfavorable orbs, immunity for 2 turns for slot boosts and chain boundaries, full immunity, 2 turns of threshold, 6 turns of defense up, and a 20 hit barrier for 1 turn. So very annoying stuff. They want you to use Blackbeard, but we're not including Blackbeard. So we're going to run Rush Kaido. Rush Kaido, you can activate his Super EX with this particular team very easily. Everyone actually triggers it. Unfortunately, you're only going to get the part of his passive where you can use the conditional boost. However, we can actually use one of his specials to be a wave clearer, which works really, really nicely. He's a wave clearing character anyway, so you can just like single tap, and that's going to work really awesome as well. But using his special for one of the characters is actually going to work nicely. Now, we do have another unboosted character on the team, which is Ulti. Ulti on the final stage basically covers you for the attack down and the special bind, which is awesome. Because as I mentioned, there's not a lot of boosted characters that can actually get around attack down. If you have Burgess, use him. If you have Blackbeard, throw him on as your captain. However, we're not including them, and if you have this ulti, she actually fits the bill quite nicely. With Kaido as your captains and with his Super EX, you can actually get a bunch of cooldowns. 1 turn with his Super EX, and as a captain, he gives 2 turns to powerhouse characters or strength units. Plus, if you use a ship like the Shark Superb for 2 more turns of cooldowns, ulti's going to be ready to go thanks to basically having this guy as a captain and then getting cooldowns from the actual quest. Now, there is Threshold and there is Defense Up, which is super annoying. There is a free-to-play Conjurer you can use for the defense up. However, he only takes care of 4 turns. So you still need to cover another 2. You can use something like the page 1 support on ulti, but the way I'm doing it, I just included this 1.2 times boosting Big Mom, and I just slapped on the Perispera support. You just need 2 turns of defense up. If you don't have the Perispera, replace the Big Mom with the defense up remover, and you should be fine. Finally, the lead performance. They're a super tandem character with Kaido. You get Rush. They're an attack booster. Like, you get a lot with this particular team, and Kaido should get it done fairly nicely. Plus, if you tap with a 1 orb with Kaido, he's just going to remove the barrier, so that's always a fun time as well. Moving on to the S-Hawk fight now. This is where stuff gets a bit shaky, and this is where you want all of your points. So, for the S-Hawk and the Coby fight, as you guys are about to see, we are using a cross-guild friend captain. Cross-guild is a 2.5 times boost. It's going to get so many points for you guys, and it actually makes the fights a lot easier with this particular character. So, cross-guild, absolutely fantastic for this. Strength Dex and Quick get all the good stuff. On stage 2, there's normal attacks only, 5 turns of burn, which I believe is a super burn, so be very careful there. 8 turns of despair, which will go down to 5 after sockets. End of turn damage for 20,000. 6 turns of defense up at 1 million, and a status immunity against everything except for set target, which is that new ability that what's it called? That Cross Guild does. On defeat, they run away with full HP, and then when you move into the next stage, there is a Saber Ensign, which has a 2-turn hit barrier at 12 hits. So I believe it's just like one mob member. Then you get 6 turns of attack down. There's a damage limiter for 70%, 4 turns of special rest on your top row, 3 turns on your crewmate, 6 turns of threshold, full immunity except for set target, a target lock, 5 turns of despair on your top row, which will go down to 2 after sockets, a 1-turn hit barrier at 12 hits, and then all orbs get turned to poison slots. After 1 turn, you get 5 turns of slot bind, and then after another, you just get a bunch of slot bind after turn 1, which you guys have to deal with because of the damage limiter. So, for this particular team, we are running Rayleigh as our captain. We have the 5+ Jimbei and Coby on the team, with Nami Karina for some cooldowns, as well as the free-to-play PK Whitebeard, the quick one. The reason we're using the quick one is because he has type advantage and he's getting double boosted. Plus, he can remove burn on stage 2. Not only can he remove burn, but he also has a support that can remove 1 turn of defense up. Now, Jimbei and Coby both don't get cooldowns on this fight. However, Jimbei will be ready because he's just an absolute monster of a booster. His special is going to remove 5 turns of defense up. So with the support of Jozu and the Jimbei special, you can get around the defense up on stage 2. So that's pretty much all you need to do. Whitebeard's going to cover you for the burn, and then you can move on to the final stage. Now on the final stage, we're going to want to use the special of Cross Guild as many times as possible. Now, there's a weird thing with Cross Guild. If you don't have them Limit Break expanded, they are going to be on a 16-turn cooldown, which is a huge problem because the unit gets 13 turns of cooldown whenever it uses all this crazy shenaniganry in its special. But I have taken that into consideration with finding a friend captain that is not Limit Break expanded. The idea on the final stage is that you are going to get the 4 turns of cooldown on your captains. However, the Cross Guild have an ability that if you get despaired, they turn it into 2 turns of cooldown for themselves. So that 4 turns will go down to 2 turns. So we just need to cover another 2 turns. Plus, we also need to remove attack down. So that's where Nami and Karina come into play. Remember though, your sailors do get 3 turns of special rollback. Nami, Karina only have 2 turns of special rollback. But if you switch into Karina, you're going to get a full body G-Orbs. You can use their special to remove the attack down and give 2 turns of cooldown. You just need to use any support that gives them at least 1 turn of cooldown on the final stage. And there's a bunch of supports that they can use. There's like an Usopp, there's Brûlé, there's a Robin, I believe, as well. There's so many options. You just need 1 turn of cooldown on that final stage, and you'll be able to get Nami Karina ready to go. Not only will they give you a well, you're not going to get a full body G-Obs actually because of the poison slots. Not only will they give you the cooldowns, but they're also going to remove the attack down, which is super, super nice. Then you can use Cross Guild. Once you use the Cross Guild special, because you got the 4 turns of cooldown, you're going to apply the set target lock, which gives the 13 turn cooldowns to the Cross Guild friend captain. After you've applied the set target, you can activate their Super EX. Their Super EX is actually going to give everyone 2 turns of cooldown, which is really, really nice because that way there'll be 1 special off unless you find a Limit Break expanded friend. With Coby on the team, Coby actually gives 1 turn of cooldown, so he's going to be that extra turn for the Cross Guild unit. Now, the downside is after that, if there is only 1 mob unit, the Cross Guild is only going to give themselves 2 turns of cooldown. Because remember, when the Cross Guild kills something with a set target, with that 1 million fixed damage, they are going to give themselves an extra 2 turns. Now, the problem with this is now, we don't have access to any way of getting any more cooldown to get this third part of their passive, which gives the 3 turns of the chain multiplicative, as well as the resistance. So, hopefully, there's like, this Saber Ensign is like, more than 1 mob unit, but that's just like a huge problem and a huge flaw in the design of the character. So Hopefully you guys can find a Limit Break Expanded Friend Captain, but if you don't, you are going to lack quite a bit of damage on that final stage, which is a little bit of a problem. But remember, you can only do 70% of the enemy's HP anyway, so realistically, you want to be able to just take down 30%. Now, there is another huge problem with this team, and that is poison sockets, so make sure that you max out your poison socket resistance. I know, it's so annoying that we have to do this, but there is just no other options to get around poison. Like, there's just none. Like, it's super unfortunate. If you really want to, you can make Nami Karina your captain, you can take off Rayleigh. You'll lose a bunch of points, but you can use something like Magellan and Hannibal, and then use the Magellan Hannibal switch abilities with the poison sockets. But hey, these teams up for like 15 million dip, so like at the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do. Later down the line, if you need to replace Rayleigh, you can easily replace him with something like that Magellan and Hannibal unit, as I mentioned. I'm spelling Magellan wrong, aren't I? This one here, because with their switch, they can remove poison, and then with that, you can actually just swap all of those poison sockets. Their special gives color affinity too, I believe, too. And then like the orb boost and all that fun stuff comes into play with Nami Karina and whatnot. But remember, you do have to do 70% of the damage on the next turn. You're gonna get slot binded. Once you get slot binded, you can use something like Rayleigh. Rayleigh has slot bind removal. I believe, no, he doesn't. Sorry, I believe the cross guild have slot bind removal, and I believe that this Whitebeard also has slot bind removal. So once you've done that, you can use Rayleigh on the second turn, and then basically all your damage is going to come around that turn. I included the Roger and Odin special, support, just to try and do a little bit more damage on stage. On stage, like the first turn of the final stage. But when you get that extra turn of cooldown with S-Hawk, with Cross Guild, you are going to be able to get that chain boundary, so you can just do all your bursting on turn 2. So, bit of a wonky team, but obviously we have to work with what we're working with. As for the Intrusion, though, the Intrusion actually seemed a lot easier than the final boss, to be completely honest. The recommended characters being Burgess and the new batch. Slashers, Driven, and Powerhouse get all the good stuff. On stage 2, there's normal attacks only, 2 turns of Special Reverse, 6 turns of Despair, and 6 turns of Defense up. On the final stage, there's 2 turns of Special Reverse. You can only use 2 specials for 3 turns, 6 turns of damage reduction, and an attack down if you're below a 2.75 chain multiplicative. Also, if you use a set chain multiplier or a orb boost, I believe, they reduce it by 2 turns. Or affected, yeah, set chain multiplier and type effect, so color affinity. And then there's a full immunity except for the set target, and then 6 turns of paralysis. On defeat as well, you take 150,000 damage too, by the way. So you're going to take a lot of damage on defeat, but we do have some fun stuff to get around that. So with the Cross Guild Friend Captain, you can actually get 2 turns of cooldown on stage 2 because you get Despaired. It states in their captain ability that anytime you get Despaired, no matter how many turns it is, it's always going to convert it to the top row to 2 turns of cooldown, which is really, really nice. So that way, on this particular stage, we're going to get the 2 turns of cooldown, and then we can use their special, then we can use their EX, then we can use Coby, then we can use them again. And that's going to remove the defense up. Really, really nice. Then we can use Carrot Wanda to give us 2 more turns of cooldown, and then we can use Nami Karina to get even more cooldowns. So that's all going to be super hunky-dory. But Nami Karina, actually, no, I'm looking at it. I mean, I need them for the paralysis removal. So ideally, we're just going to pop on stage 2. We're going to get the special reverse thanks to the Despair. We can use the first Cross Guild special. We can then super swap or just use the Carrot and Wanda special. That's going to give us 3 turns of cooldown. We can then use the Cross Guild again, use the Super EX and Coby to get another 3 turns of cooldown. Use the third Cross Guild special, so that way you're getting all of their fun shenaniganry with the chain boundary, the resistance, basically everything you need. But hey, you don't have to use everything, you just need to use them twice to get around the defense up, and then you can kill. You're going to get the orb boost from them, so that's going to be really nice. But we have an orb boost with Rayleigh, we have an orb boost with Carrot Wanda and Nami Karina and stuff on the final stage anyway. On the final stage to get around the damage reduction, I believe Nami Karina are going to take care of that pretty nicely. Because if you use Cross Guild on stage 2, you can't actually get around that. But Nami can remove the paralysis and the damage reduction, so she works exceptionally well. Nami Karina is showing how valuable they are once again. Coby's going to give a 1 turn of cooldown. You can use the third turn of Cross Guild then. You have a chain boost. You have attack, orbs, basically everything that you need with Rayleigh. Rayleigh also removes paralysis, so that's another upside as well. Plus, Rayleigh's going to make slashes. No, he's going to make cerebral characters go through defensive effects, so you can actually bink that. But Nami, she's just so good on the final stage to just allow you to go through those paralysis and all that fun stuff too. So you can run this sort of build many different ways, and honestly, like I said, the intrusion, it's not as bad as what the final boss seems. But it's going to wrap up the video. Hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to go down there, belt like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. Most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.